to the Bronx for Yankees baseball on Yes for the series finale between the Yankees and the A's. Hey everyone, I'm Meredith Morakovitz. With lefty Jeffrey Springs on the mound for the A's, the Yankees lineup looks a little different. Trent Grisham and Jazz Chisholm Jr. both have the afternoon off. They'll be available off the bench. So with Grisham out of the lineup, it's going to be Ahmed Rosario leading off. It's the first time he is in that leadoff spot since July of 2024. Cody Bellinger will play center field. Randall Grichuk is out there in left. Rosario is playing second base. Also noteworthy, Ben Rice remains in that lineup. Aaron Boone said the other day he is still going to face select lefties. So Paul Goldschmidt is not in that lineup for the first time against a lefty in his Yankees career. And Giancarlo Stanton remains in there at DH. It's the sixth consecutive game he is playing. He'll likely get a day off during that series in Tampa Bay. As Joe Girardi already mentioned, it's going to be Ryan Weathers on the mound this afternoon. The Yankees would like to see him do a little bit of a better job controlling the strike zone. Last time out, the Marlins were really able to up his pitch count, and they'd like for him to get a little deeper, more economical in this one. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network when we get back. That man right there, Ryan Weathers, gets the ball right here on Yes.
Ryan Weathers taking his warm-ups as he prepares to face the A's in the rubber game of this three-game set. A's coming at 4-7. This is what they put together. Wilson, Kurtz, and Rooker at the top. Ibanez, Muncy, and Soderstrom in the middle. Bottom third, it's Wings, Hernandez, and Clark. Jacob Wilson digs in. Weathers is ready. Let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch. Swung on and fouled away, and we are underway.
You see the numbers on Ryan Weathers. The ERA is a little bit too high. The walks are a little bit too high, but I like the strikeouts, 11. And if you get back to check out the Nissan's pitcher scouting report, somewhat back to normal. I always worry about a pitcher, his first start of the year, the emotions, and then you face your old team. So you're kind of ramped up. So this one's a little bit more back to normal. His arm's down. It was at 42 degrees last year. It's down to 34, and his sinker usage is way up, from 3.1 to 22.4.
1-2. Wilson puts the ball in play. Lifetime an 8.2% strikeout rate. But against the Yankees, it jumps to 24.2% in 8 games.
So you say they solved the puzzle?
Well, he is 0 for 9 in the 2 games against them.
Let's keep it that way.
Yeah. With the left-hander on the mound, Butler and McNeil not in the starting lineup. Yankees are thrilled that McNeil's not in the starting lineup. He has hurt them. Check out the defense brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Grichuk, Bellinger moves to center. Judge and right. Infield, McMahon, Caballero. Rosario as Chisholm has a day off. Rice at first. Wells behind the plate. Stanton is the DH. Soft ground ball as they test out Rosario at second. 1 down. All right, so Nate Tomlinson is the home plate umpire, and the umpire scouting report brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Considered hitter-friendly. He's had 7 calls challenged, 5 of them overturned. Fewer outside strikes, fewer inside strikes on right-handed batters in his 7th big league season. The crew chief, Mark Wegner, is the first base ump. Bruce Dreckman at second. Carlos Torres is over at third.
That might be a good thing, the fewer inside strikes to right-handers, because Springs, the A's pitcher, likes to throw his fastball in and his cutter in.
One and one. That one is into right center field. It's going to fall in for a base hit for Kurtz. 4 hits now and 11 at-bats in this series.
Yeah, he does a good job of just fighting this fastball off, and he's so strong that he's able to get it over the infield and in front of the center fielder. He's got a ton of power, a ton of bat speed, and you're right, Michael, he's starting to heat up.
Rooker 0 for 6 so far in the series. 6 for 40 on the season with 2 home runs and 8 runs batted in.
Oh, it looked like he hurt his back a little bit there. You know what that was? That was swing to left and hit it to right. A little bit confused. He was way out front. It looked like side grabbed on him a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, the athletic trainer out quickly. See, he was walking away from the plate to try to walk off the pane.
Gets out in front of that changeup and he grabs. Yeah, it looks like he's done, Michael.
I think you're right. He's walking into the dugout. The fragile state of the health of an athlete. Just one wrong move. They create such torque on those swings, and maybe the chilly weather, something just went on him.
Yeah, and if Rooker was DHing, I would think that you would see Langoliers come in. But since he's playing right field, they're going to have to send an outfielder in. And my guess it will be Carlos Cortez. Could be Butler as well. Butler's coming off knee surgery in the offseason, so may want to give him a day off. Ryan Weathers should probably keep throwing. He was in a pretty good groove of throwing strikes, Michael, and in times strikes have been a problem for him so far this year, but keep throwing, stay loose.
Now, Joe, I know a lot of things are going on in the dugout. Why would it take that long to get a guy to pinch hit?
Because he's not loose.
But
he's not anticipating hitting in the first inning. If and it looks like it's going to be Lawrence Butler. If it's like the 5th and 6th inning, you can kind of predict what situation is. The manager says, hey, you might hit in this situation if they bring this guy. First inning, you're not stretched out. I actually thought he got ready pretty quickly.
So will be Lawrence Butler inheriting an 0-2 count. Chasing Kurtz back. Just underway here at the stadium. The Yankees won game 1 of the series. The A's won last night 3-2. Strike 3. Butler down looking.
I mean, you don't even get good morning, good afternoon, good night. It's just good night. Really good four-seamer up and away to him for a strike.
Now he strikes out, but he doesn't put it on his record. It goes on Rooker's record.
Yeah. But if he gets a hit, it goes on his.
Yep.
It's the best situation to come in hitting.
0-1 on Andy Ibanez, third baseman, batting cleanup. 2 for 9 so far this season. And that is caught by a diving McMahon to take away a base hit. Move quickly to the glove side to end the inning. No runs a hit. 1 man left on base. A's nothing. And the Yankees coming to bat. All right, against the lefty Jeffrey Springs, the Yankees have a little bit of a different look lineup-wise. We'll take a look right now. You can see the guy's going to lead off. It's Ahmed Rosario, as Grisham gets the day off, at least the beginning. Then it's Aaron Judge and Cody Bellinger. Giancarlo Stanton will DH and clean up. Ben Rice at first. Randall Grichuk last start was March 27th in San Francisco. And the bottom third of the order, Austin Wells, Jose Caballero, and Ryan McMahon, the third baseman, will bat 9th. Also, Jazz Chisholm Jr. has the beginning of the game off.
So far, Jeffrey Springs has probably been their best starter, pitching to a 2.38. You see the innings pitched. He's pitching pretty well. So far, so good. As I said, 2 starts. One against Toronto to open up, and then Houston at 2.38 ERA. Kind of rare these days, Michael. 9 of 364 starters this year have won 103 pitches or more, and he did it against Houston. And tough to figure out. 11 games, 3 starts against the Yankees. A 2.03 ERA, and that's your Nissan Pitchers scouting report.
1-0 on Rosario. Rosario 3 for 8 in the first 2 games of the series. First game of the series, he had big home runs, 2 big home runs. 3-run shot in the 8th inning. Helped the Yankees get that 5-3 victory. That one's fouled away and out of play. Historically, Rosario has hit lefties very well. A 297 batting average lifetime and a 798 OPS against left-handed pitching. Now, there was one right-handed bat that was conspicuously not in the lineup as Rosario grounds to second, and that was Paul Goldschmidt. And Aaron Boone said he'll play when we face Max in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, they're going to see a lot of lefties, and he's going to have to spread some days off around. And I think that Goldie's probably going to play a lot against lefties, but you don't want to make Rice just against right-handers. He's too effective, and Goldie's probably going to get plenty of at-bats here.
Judge with a foul ball. Count 0-1.
I mean, it's 6 days in a row for Stanton. So he's probably going to need a day off. You're going to have to give Judge a DH day. I could see Rice catching a game to get Goldie in there. But I guarantee you one thing, Michael. He'll be ready to hit if his name's called upon.
Slow roller. Grabbed by Springs. 2 away. Check out the A's defense, brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Now Butler is in right field, and we'll take a look at Tyler Soderstrom over in left. 13 outfield assists since last season, tied for the most in the majors. And that is the Car Shield Defensive Player Profile. Bellinger, high pop-up on the left side. The catch is made by Ibanez, and the Yankees go down in order. 1, 2, 3. We go to the second. Angels Deli Dinger for free every day for a chance at a profit boost if your selected player hits a home run. And here are the featured home run odds for today's players. Aaron Judge plus 340, Giancarlo Stanton plus 310.
Who are you taking, Michael?
How about Stanton?
All right, I'll take Judge.
All right. Max Muncy takes a ball as he starts off the second inning. Muncy 2 for 8 so far in the series. The A's have not won a series at Yankee Stadium since April of 2016. And they've lost 13 of their last 17 games at Yankee Stadium.
Boy, who managed that series so poorly?
I'm going to have to look that up. There was a period of time, Joe, where the A's so dominated the Yankees that it was embarrassing, where I believe the A's were 13-0 against the Yankees one season. And I remember when it all turned. Tony La Russa was a manager of the A's. Showalter was a manager of the Yankees. Grounded to McMahon. And I guess Tony was getting on Matt Noakes from the bench. And Buck started yelling at him. And then they met right behind home plate by the screen. Looked like they were going to start throwing. Teams emptied out, and the Yankees just, all of a sudden, we're not going to be pushovers anymore. You're not going to go 13-0 against us.
Would that have been like 95?
No, it was probably 92, 93.
Buck was feisty. I mean, really, really. I remember him meeting about halfway too.
With him?
Oh yeah.
And who was he managing? The Orioles then?
Yeah, and I was accusing, I believe, his third base coach of giving location when Mariano was pitching to left-handed hitters. I love Buck. Brilliant manager. Brilliant. I used to just like to sit around and listen to him talk about the game of baseball. Fascinating.
Strike 3. Soderstrom down looking.
Another outstanding four-seamer. I think a lot of these guys are probably sitting on that sweeper with 2 strikes, and there's been a couple taken third strikes on four-seamers out over the plate.
It's funny you said that about Buck, because that's kind of where I got my degree. Because, you know, the years he was a manager, I was on the radio and I did the manager's report. And before Buck, it was John that did the manager's report, John Sterling. And Buck made it known that for a night game, he wanted to do the manager's report at noon or 1. And John said, I will not be coming in at 1 o'clock for a night game. So it fell to me.
You know, I don't know how many broadcasters you could say this about, but my manager's show with John Sterling was entertainment.
For you.
Yes.
And you probably did it at a reasonable hour.
Yes. It's at 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Yeah, that was fine. That's still a little early. I just asked John, I said, John, why do you get the ballpark at like 5-ish or 4 or 5-ish? He said, Michael, I've been preparing my whole life for this podcast.
Yeah, I don't think it was an old hat for him year after year after year.
Still 2-2 on Austin Wynns getting the start behind the plate. So our first look at him. Shea Langoliers in the first 2 games. Top of the second inning, 0-0. The A's and the Yankees. High fly ball, deep left field. Grichuk back on the track, and he'll make the play up against the wall for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning, and Weathers breathes a sigh of relief. Everybody in the ballpark thought that was out, but Grichuk ran it down as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Nissan. Hop into a Nissan Rogue and hit the road to adventure. Shop NissanUSA.com. By Sage, proud accounting software provider of the New York Yankees. By Tunnel to Towers. Donate $11 a month and amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to T2T.org. And by Hyundai, test drive a new Hyundai today only at your local Hyundai dealer. Some of the father-son combos that pitch for the Yanks.
I would say the Weathers look most similar when you looked at the 2 faces next to each other. It's your pick to click today, Michael.
Which one?
This one right here, John Carter.
Oh, yeah. And yours is Judge.
That's right.
Two and 1. Stan 1 for 8 in the series. It'll be Stanton, Rice, and Grichuk against Jeffrey Springs.
It's really good to see that the Yankees are going to see some left-handers in a row, because they have the second fewest at-bats off of left-handers this year. Only Detroit has less. And this is only the second one they've seen in 12 games, left-handed starters.
But they'll see some coming up.
Oh, they got them coming up.
They have Matz and McClanahan, 2 lefties they'll see in Tampa. Driven into left field. and Soderstrom puts it away. And that'll bring up Rice. Rice had his 9-game on-base streak snapped yesterday with 4 strikeouts. His number's still very good. You know, one thing I've noticed, Joe, the first game of the series, I believe, was the longest 9-inning game in the post-pitch clock era. Yesterday's game was also long. And I don't know if those are going to be one-offs, Joe. I believe with the ABS system, the strike zone is shrunk. You're not going to get pitches off the plate because they're just not going to be accepted. They'll be challenged. The Yankees have been walking a lot. When you walk a lot, the games are longer.
Yeah, I think you're right, Michael. But I also think early in the year, is as tough as it is to hit, I think it's a little tougher sometimes throwing strikes.
Fly ball. Clark puts it away.
Just because you don't have the same grip on the ball that you do when it gets warmer.
MLB Plus is new for 2026. Stream MLB Network 24/7 and select out-of-market games every week, plus live radio broadcast of every game. Game Day 3D, big inning, and minor league action. Visit MLB.com/MLB Plus to subscribe today. Randall Grichuk takes inside 1-0. This was his first appearance in the series. It's his second start. He started 1 game in San Francisco. So last year, Joe, 9-inning games averaged 2 hours, 38 minutes. This year so far, 242, so not that drastic.
Yeah, and like the OPS is down in baseball so far because of, I believe a lot of it has to do with weather. And I think the time of the games has to do with weather as well. And you're seeing more pitching changes because pitchers aren't as built up as they will be in the middle of the season.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how it works.
Well, if the ABS causes much longer games, that certainly is an unintended consequence. Because baseball, I think, really tapped into something with the clock and reducing games to about 2:35 rather than 3:35. 3-1 on the Yankee left fielder. And there's a strike. Grichuk was running toward first, but choosing not to challenge.
Yeah, this is a borderline pitch, and I think it's smart because there's 2 outs. And it was a strike.
Swing and a miss. Grichuk down on strikes. Yankees go down in order, and we go to the 3rd. Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Delta, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Delta, keep climbing. We go to the 3rd inning. Hernandez will lead off. They say he went around.
Wow.
Grounded to short. Caballero. Saved an error, did Rice on the swipe tag.
Yeah, he does everything right. He just kind of holds on to it a little bit too long, and it kind of fades a little bit. And Ben Rice does a good job of coming off the bag and just making the tag.
You know, Joe, all the days are starting to blend in. The long game was Miami, the Miami game.
Yes.
On Saturday, that was 3:49. Sunday was 3:24. Fly ball to right field off the bat of Clark. Judge is there.
It was 3:49.
3:49.
How many walks were in that game? They had 11, I think.
I know that the Yankees had 30 walks in that series, which is a record.
You know, the interesting thing, though, as a player and a manager, I never really noticed very often how long the game was.
As a broadcaster?
And a fan, I do.
So when you were in Baltimore managing those games that went 4 hours, you didn't realize this is a long game?
No, because
Really?
there was a lot of times there was a lot of action.
Oh, there always was in Baltimore, yeah.
And I always say, you know, we talk about the pace of the game and it's important. But I think it's the pace of action that's more important because people want to see action. It doesn't necessarily have to be a hit, but it has to be a ball in play. And when there isn't any action, that's when it becomes frustrating for the fans.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Sometimes it could be a 3:30 game and it went by in an eye blink, and it could be a 2:48 game and it seemed like it slogged along.
Yes, a lot of walks, not a lot of hits.
Popped up. Rice gives it a look, but that's well back in the seats.
So far today, Ryan Weathers, to me, his changeup has been more effective than it has been in early parts of games this year.
Looped into right center field, dunks in for a base hit. Joe said in the open, he's been victimized by a couple of those in his first 3 starts.
Yeah, and you have to make sure that you don't get frustrated and you keep making pitches. This is his split change, and you're going to see that Wilson hits it off the end of the bat. Like you said, Michael, he does not swing and miss a lot except against the Yankees. It's just almost like a little knockdown wedge.
So here's Nick Kurtz, singled in the first inning. And a strike. Now, the A's are trying to sign a lot of their young players to long-term deals so that they're all locked in for when they begin play in Vegas in 2028. They've tried with Kurtz, and he has resisted. Coming off a great year last year.
You know, I wonder if he becomes more tempted as he sees some of these big deals that these young players are signing. Some of them aren't even in the big leagues.
Yeah.
But you got this Rookie of the Year underneath your belt. Maybe he just wants to get a feeling of what Las Vegas is like before he decides to stay there.
Cooking up something special with Hexclad. Join the hybrid revolution at hexclad.com. He's third in OPS since the beginning of last season. Judges first, Ohtani second, Nick Kurtz, that's good company, then Springer and Schwarber.
Yeah, the year that he had was remarkable last year. He beat out his own teammate for Rookie of the Year. He beat out Wilson, who hit .311 last year.
Yeah, he was a unanimous Rookie of the Year. It's also interesting how the A's will look at their players and wonder where they are, because will that power play in a ballpark that is not Sacramento, is not a minor league park?
It will.
Think so? Okay.
Yes, because if you look at his splits, yes, there's a few more homers in Sacramento, but it's not that different.
Down goes Kurtz. As the A's strand one, we go to the bottom of the third.
Welcome back. Ryan Weathers is through 3 scoreless. You heard Joe Girardi talk about it a little bit to start the game, about how his arm angle has dipped here a little bit in 2026. It went from 42 degrees in 2025 to 34 degrees here in 2026. I asked him about that prior to his last start, and he told me it wasn't necessarily by design. More than anything, he believes it's because he's throwing his sinker significantly more as a Yankee. Ideally, he'd like to get it a little closer to where it was last year. Originally, he thought maybe he'd get some different horizontal movement. He said the numbers suggest that that is not the case. So how much more is he throwing that sinker? About 20% more so far this year. He really likes it against left-handed batters, where he's throwing it 60% of the time, guys.
1-0 count on Wells. Does that send up any kind of flag to you, that the arm angle drop like that?
No, because I don't think he's hurt. I think he was trying to induce more movement. But my mind tells me that his changeup and his sinker would have more fade if he got his arm up. Because I think you tend to get on the side of the baseball when your arm's down. But maybe playing catch, he felt like he had more movement doing it, and that's why he went to it. I mean, he was down there early in his career. That's where his arm angle was. So, Michael, get your protractor out and tell me what degrees that is.
Well, 34, right?
Well, I don't know. It could have been 37.
The 2-2. And Wells down on strikes. He's struggling at the start of the season offensively.
I think Springs is a well-kept secret. He has the ability to throw his fastball into lefties and into righties. He's got a really good sweeper and a slider. They just same shape, change of speed, an outstanding changeup. But he burst onto the scene in 2022 with the Rays. Made 4 starts in 23, elbow hurt, had Tommy John. Pitched a little bit in 24, came back and pitched in 25, and had a good season. But this guy has a career ERA under 3.
Now, his A's debut last season, he pitched to a 4.11 ERA in a tough place to pitch, and his ERA was still above average, 105 ERA plus, which accounts for, the ballpark. Yankees have not seen him since 2022 in September when he's pitching for the Rays. So it's been a while. Ground ball left side. Ibanez boots it. So Caballero will reach Yankees first base runner on the E5.
Yeah, he's usually pretty steady-handed infielder, and I'm going to see if this ball comes up. It really doesn't. He just misreads where it's going to be, and it hits off the heel of his glove. And you're never going to throw Caballero out. Now, Springs hasn't had many base runners this year, so he has not given up a stolen base. But last year, they were 20 for 23 off him. So there is a possibility.
Here's Ryan McMahon, 2 for 26 to start the season. High fly ball center field. Clark makes the play, tagging Caballero, but just draws the throw. And back to the top of the order, and Ahmed Rosario.
Talking about Springs, you were talking about his ERA and what it was last year and tough place to pitch. He had a 4.81 at home and 3.45 on the road. I mean, Sacramento is tough.
Now the pitchers, particularly Severino, did not like pitching in Sacramento, and the splits were glaring how much he disliked it. And one of the complaints he had was there's no clubhouse behind the dugout. There's no place for a pitcher to, between innings. Runner goes, throw to second. Safe. Wilson kind of shrugs his shoulders towards the dugout. No, Hernandez does.
Yeah, he gets a good jump. But Wins is an outstanding thrower, and it looks like he feels it in front a little bit too much. It probably would have bounced if he tried to stay back, and he just beat it.
5th stolen base for Caballero. Anyway, they built now a Severino room.
Oh, they did?
They built a room behind the A's dugout in Sacramento. It's not the size of a clubhouse, but it's a place where a pitcher can go, and Springs used it in his start, and they say it's a lot better. Because the clubhouse is in Marley Park. In that one, you have to walk to the outfield to get there.
You know what's bad about that, Michael?
What's that?
If you get thrown out of the game.
Well, now you can go to the Severino room, Joe. That's the whole thing. I actually spoke to Sevy about that, and he said much, much better than it was before. It's pretty nice in there, and he described it like this. If you're having a bad day or you just need a break and don't want a camera in your face in the dugout, sometimes you just need to go to a separate room and scream or do whatever or sit back for a minute, and that room now allows pitchers to do that. So he's pretty happy with it. Not ideal still, but better than what it was.
There's ball 4 to Rosario. Meredith, what we need is a Severino room up here. That's what we need. If things aren't going well, you don't want a camera in your face, you're just not feeling it, you need a Severino room.
Would you have to go out there very often?
I'm always in a good mood, Joe. You know that. Here's a guy who's always in a good mood, Aaron Judge. Why not? Aaron 1 for 6 in this series. Always hit the A's well. 48 games, 18 home runs, 49 runs batted in, with a .314 batting average and a .429 on base percentage.
Yeah, he's not had a lot of success off the Springs. Coming into today, he was 1 for 7 with 5 Ks. He got a weak ground ball and a changeup the last time. He looked like he was in between there. He was late on the fastball.
0-2.
Now, do you think Matt Meredith would need the Severino room?
She is always a ray of sunshine. I think if the food's not happening, O'Neill might need a Severino room.
And guys, when they're done constructing it up here, just send them down here. We'll see what they can do.
And when Coney has that vein popping out in his forehead,
I've seen that.
Yeah. Fouled away.
You know, I wonder if the manager ever wants to send the pitcher to the Severino. Just go to the Severino.
Strike 3. Judge down looking. No runs. 1 error, 2 men left. Still scoreless after 3. Tri-State Cadillac scoreboard. 0-0 as we go to the 4th inning. See the 0 in the Yankee hit column. The Yankees have 1 hit in their last 11 innings. So they got the 3 hits in the 1st inning yesterday, 1 hit after that. Butler lines on the right field. It's a base hit. Leadoff single for Lawrence Butler. So Lawrence Butler took over for Rooker on an 0-2 count, because on the 2-strike swing, or the 0-1 swing, something caught, and they're saying right flank discomfort.
Where exactly is the flank?
Fly ball. And Ibanez is down. I guess
Is it the front or back?
Right?
Or is it in the back?
I don't know. I don't even like flank steak, so I don't know where the flank
Be
is.
the only steak you don't like.
You're right. I just don't like flank steak. They say right side, lower back between the ribs and the hip.
Really good changeup. This is the best that I've seen his changeup in the last 2 starts. He's throwing a lot of strikes with it. He's been really good with his fastball and his sweeper today.
One and one on Muncy. Muncy 2 for 9 in the series. He grounded to third in the second. McMahon deep at third, about 12 feet off the line. Rosario, the second baseman, shades up the middle.
You know, you would have been a really good outfielder or infielder on positioning.
How so?
Well, he's 12 feet off the line. So if they told you, you know, in the outfield left-hander, do you want to be at 300? You want to be slightly opposite. You know exactly where that was.
Oh, I really would, yeah. My wheelhouse. All the way to the backstop. And Wells will retrieve. Moving to second is Butler.
You know, I wonder if Weathers got somewhat distracted, because when you looked at Butler, he kind of took a step, and maybe he tried to speed up his windup thinking that he was going, and ends up airmailing this one back to the screen.
Three and one on Muncy. Muncy 13 for 44 this year with 2 home runs and 5 runs batted in. And a strike. So Butler at second, the first runner that the A's have had in scoring position. And down goes Muncy. There's that changeup you're talking about, Joe.
Yeah, it's outstanding. It's got depth to it, and it's a strike, strike, strike until the end. And he throws a split change, and it has that late break, that late depth, and the hitters are swinging over the top of it today. Be careful here first pitch, because he's going to be aggressive and try to get a fastball to hit. I'd like to see him starting with a sweeper.
Foul ball.
He's an aggressive hitter overall, but a lot of times you'll get situations in the scouting reports that hitters become more aggressive with runners in scoring position. And I always felt like left-handers against left-handers do that.
There's that pitch on the outside corner, so the count 0-2. A little late throwing to second. They definitely had Butler leaning.
And he's trying to steal third. You hear the infielders yell, "Step off," and it's a good thing that Weathers didn't panic and balk there. He took his time. He just turned the wrong way.
You know, one thing that always annoys pitchers about a runner at second is that they can pick up signs. But now with the pitch comm, they can't pick up signs, but they can certainly see location, and they're trying to relay that. Maybe lean toward one way and have your hand on a certain knee, and that tells you exactly. And pitchers don't like it, and catchers see it too.
The other thing that hitters or base runners love to do is they try to pick up grips in the glove. So as a pitcher, you have to hide your grip. He does a good job of pinning it against his chest. It's a little bit harder to see in his glove.
Now, catchers and managers and they get annoyed at that, but there's nothing wrong with it.
No, it's your job to protect your signals.
Right.
That's
Anything on the field is fair game.
Absolutely. It's been happening for hundreds of years, Michael.
Runner goes. Swing and a miss. Soderstrom down on strikes. It's a strong 4 for Ryan Weathers. We go to the bottom of the 4th. 0-0. Well, it's time for Pinstripe Pride, brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Today's pitcher is a 3-month-old Nolan who's already dreaming of his first trip to Yankee Stadium. So he has Billy, Mantle, Posada, Jeter, and Torrey. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride. Mention yes in pictures you post to social media to reflect your love for the Bronx Bombers. We might spotlight you in a future game. You know, everybody needs a little motivation. Even Michael Jordan would make stuff up to motivate himself. Like, say that this guy said something when he really didn't say something, just to motivate himself. Well, one of the things that motivates Jeffrey Springs, in 2015, he was selected in the 30th round of the draft. That round doesn't exist anymore.
No, it does not.
And he got a $1,000 signing bonus. And he said, that definitely gives you a little bit of a chip on the shoulder. He said, I thought it was better than that.
He was right.
And how about this, Joe? Despite going in the 30th round, he was the first player in the Rangers 2015 draft class to reach the majors.
There are a lot of clubs that missed. He might have been smaller in stature, thinner, didn't throw this hard. Then all of a sudden he grew a couple inches, got stronger, the velocity went up.
Served into left field. Soderstrom will put it away to retire Bellinger. And when you're a 30th round pick and you get a $1,000 signing bonus, you got to work during the off season. He worked in landscaping, worked at the YMCA, gave pitching lessons to kids in the Charlotte area.
It's impressive. I worked for my agent, who had a shoe company, selling like spikes.
Were you a good spike salesman?
Yeah, I answered the phone, took the order, and sent them out.
Nice.
I learned how to use a tape gun.
Ground ball third base, Ibanez. 2 down. I mean, in the old days, like even in the 50s, you had to work even if you were a big leaguer.
Yes.
I mean, I've heard stories about Yogi and Phil Rizzuto. They'd work in men's stores, clothing stores. They bought a bowling alley, too.
That was one of the reasons they felt that spring training needed to be so long, because they weren't training the whole winter.
Right.
Now guys come in shape. Probably need 3 or 4 weeks really to get ready. Pitchers need more.
And that was also a big deal why, the Yankees won all those World Series, because that money really supplemented your salary, the money you'd get winning a World Series.
It also helped that you didn't have to play so many rounds, too.
Yes.
Right.
Just one.
You were done early in October.
Mm-hmm. You won your league, you went to the World Series. High pop-up off the bat of Rice. Who's going to get it? Hernandez makes the play, and the Yankees go down in order as they're still searching for their first hit. We go to the 5th. Decisions presented by Sage.
Yeah, he's been sharp today. 5 Ks so far. He's done it with his sinker. He's done it with his 4-seamer at 97 miles an hour. He's had a really good changeup. 5 strikeouts. Given up 3 hits. Been really economical. Only 53 pitches so far.
First pitch. Grounded to Rosario. 1 pitch, 1 out. Pitcher will take that. Here's Darrell Hernandez. Hernandez is from Puerto Rico, and he had a dream moment March 7th in the WBC against Panama. In his hometown of San Juan, hit a walk-off home run for Puerto Rico in that game. And his teammates and coaches said he's, quote, a legend in Puerto Rico forever now. And he was a late addition to the roster, replacing Francisco Lindor.
I hope one day we see baseball in the Olympics again, Michael. I think these guys take so much pride in playing for their country.
Punched into right field. That's a base hit. Judge Fields gets the ball in, so Hernandez with a single with 1 out in the 5th.
4th single he's given up today. This one on the changeup, and again, soft contact. You see the movement down, and what I love seeing on that one was the movement away as well. A lot of times it will cut. That's really a good sign, Michael. And I would bet if you looked at his arm angle, it's higher today.
Clark takes a strike. So Weathers 15 of 18 first pitch strikes.
Well, there's a definite correlation between his ERA and his walk rate. And if you go back to 23, his walk rate was about 6.5, and it was 3.63. 22, it was over 11% walk rate, and he had a 6.55. He's thrown a ton of strikes today, something that he had struggled in his first 2 starts, only about 44% in the zone in his first 2 games. He's filling it up today.
One and two on Denzel Clark. Soft ground ball. McMahon goes across the diamond to get Clark. Hernandez moves to second. So back to the top of the order, and Jacob Wilson singled his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Fouled away.
Michael, if you take a look at the outfield here, look how shallow Judge is playing. He's dunked a couple of hits in there. He did one the last time. He does not have a ton of power. His power is only pull power. Judge is looking to take that little dunker away from him.
Center field. Bellinger is there, and that'll do it. A's strand 1. We're halfway through. Nothing. Yes are streaming live on the Gotham Sports app, included for free with your eligible TV provider subscription. Download and sign into the Gotham Sports app now. Check out all the great Yankees content, including game highlights, post-game sound, and much more. Go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Joe, if you include the McMahon double play to end the 4th inning last night, the Yankees have gone 9 2/3 innings without a hit. There have been no hit for more than a game now.
I hope you just jinxed it.
We'll see if it works out.
Have you ever talked to Randall why he wears his pants the way he does?
I have not.
I think players think they're not going to get the low strike called on them when they wear it.
But now that doesn't work. They've all been measured.
They don't challenge every pitch.
Right, true. One and two. Now, Jeffrey Springs has a little bit of a connection with our colleague Paul O'Neill. He played with Paul's nephew Michael for the inaugural season of the Down East Wood Ducks, a Rangers A affiliate in 2017, coached by Howard Johnson.
What was the name of that team?
The Down Eastwood Ducks, Class A affiliate of Texas.
Where is Down East?
I think it's just past down west. I don't know.
Southeast of Dallas? Arlington?
Let's just say that it's probably somewhere in Texas. Oh, I'm told it's in Kinston, North Carolina. Swing and a miss. Grichuk strikes out for the second time today. Both pitchers are dealing.
Yeah, this is a little sweeper from him. And again, his sweeper and his slider have similar shape, but there's about 5-mile-an-hour difference. Keeps hitters off balance. And I tell you what, I think it gives a lot of pitchers hope that it's not all about power. It's about deception and location. He's throwing 91, 92, and getting hitters out on a regular basis.
Grounded to first. Kurtz. 2 away. So Wells now 5 for 29 with his 0 for 2 today. I'll tell you what, if the A's are not contending, Joe, right? For Walker, this guy's going to bring back a nice return to a contending team.
A very big piece he could bring back for sure. I mean, he was traded for Joe Boyle, who's pretty good with Tampa. At some point, though, they have to start keeping their pitching. You know,
he's 33.
Yeah, they traded Mason Miller away. I mean, I think teams would be interested, and I think if it made sense for the A's, they might move Sevy, too, because he's only got 1 year left.
Yes.
I mean, those are great numbers. 7th in ERA.
Two and one on Caballero. He reached on an E5 in the third, stole second.
The pitch was called a strike. The batter's
called a strike, and Caballero is going to challenge. ABS powered by T-Mobile. And it's a strike.
The call is confirmed. New York has 1 challenge remaining.
Nate's only been challenged 8 times so far this year in his 3 duties behind home plate.
High drive left field. Soderstrom battling the sun, and he makes the play for the final out. The Yankees still without a hit through 5 as they go down 1-2-3. Thank you, Justin. We go around the majors. Ohtani's doing it again. 43-game on-base streak ties Ichiro for the longest by a Japanese-born player. Also has a scoreless streak as a pitcher as well. Jordan Walker, 4 home runs in the last 5 games for the Cardinals. And Chandler Simpson, who the Yankees will see, has gotten off to a great start for the Rays. 391, 1 extra base hit, and 5 stolen bases. 1-0 on Nick Kurtz to start the 6th. Line drive, it's a base hit. Judge cuts over, he's going to play it off the wall. Kurtz thought about 2, but said, no, I'll stay here at 1. So a single for Kurtz.
Man, he hits the ball hard, Michael. You're going to see this. This ends up getting by Judge, but it's hit so hard that he's going to end up with a single. And he does not have great speed. He's stolen a couple bases this year, but again, he uses the whole field. He's got power to all fields. He can just hit.
There's Lawrence Butler. And a strike. Another strike, 0-2. We're in the 6th inning, nothing, the rubber game of this 3-game set. A's started the season getting swept by the Blue Jays. Then they lost 2 of 3 at Atlanta. Then they took 2 out of 3 against Houston. And now they've split 2 against the Yanks. Their record 4-7. The Yankees are 8-3. Strike 3, and Butler's going to challenge. ABS powered by
the
T-Mobile.
pitch was called a strike. The batter's challenging.
Oh, it's a strike.
The call's confirmed. The Athletics have one challenge remaining.
Here's some of the stuff that Weathers has been featuring on StatCast 3D by Google Cloud.
Yeah, everything's been really effective. This is the best command and the best stuff he's had in his first 3 starts.
Foul ball by Ibanez. Runner goes. Popped up. He does not know it's popped up. He's going to have to retrace. Catch is made by Judge. The throw to first. Double play. Kurtz got around second, had to retrace the steps, retouch second. Judge knew what was going on, waiting for the ball to settle in the glove, and then fired a strike to Rice for the inning-ending double play. Nothing as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. There's always a game within a game, Joe, and that happened on that double play.
Yeah, Ahmad Rosario got the young first baseman from the A's. He's acting like he tagged it, and Kurtz went around second base, so he had to come back and tag it, and by that time, Judge is able to double him up. Watch him put this tag down. I'm going to catch it. I'm going to catch the throw from the catcher. No, I don't have it. It's in Aaron Judge's glove, and you just got doubled up.
McMahon tries to drag bunt and misses. 0-1.
Some people get mossed. You got Rosario.
You got Rosario, though. McMahon with a fly ball to center in the 3rd. 2 for 27 on the season. Looking for his first home run. And a strike. Both lefties are dealing. Just missed.
The pitch was called the ball. The catcher's challenging.
All right, so it's called the ball, and it's going to be challenged by Wins, ABS powered by T-Mobile.
It is strike 3.
So McMahon strikes out looking.
Outstanding fastball by Springs, and he's been throwing his fastball into lefties and away. Doesn't throw a ton of sinkers. It's mostly 4-seamers. Made the perfect pitch.
Here's Ahmed Rosario. Let's check out one of tonight's player props brought to you by Bet365, where winning is everything. Rosario to hit 1 or more home runs, plus 950. Pretty high odds. Makes sense. Not really a home run hitter, but he had 2 the other night. Popped up. Catch is made by Butler. A's have 5 hits, and the Yankees don't have a hit. Here's Judge. He's 0 for 2. One and 0. Along with Joe Girardi and Meredith Moragovitz, I'm Michael Kay. And we thank you so much for joining us and spending part of your Thursday afternoon with us here on the Yes Network. Hope you're enjoying the game. Bottom of the 6th inning, 0-0. Now, after the game, the Yankees really about as short a road trip as you could have. They're going to to Tampa, and they'll play 3 games against the Rays in St. Pete, then head back for another homestand. The A's are staying right where they are this weekend. They're going to play the Mets at Citi Field, so a week in New York for the A's.
Yeah, I think both these teams have had really interesting beginnings of the season, where the A's came from Arizona, Toronto, Atlanta, go home for 3 days, and come to Sacramento and come back for a week. And the Yankees went to San Francisco for like a week and a half and played 3 games.
Then north to Seattle, and then back to the Bronx. 2-2. Ground ball third base, Ibanez. The Yankees have not had a hit in 11 2/3 innings. We go to the 7th. Pitchers duel in the Bronx. Jeffrey Springs, 6 innings of no-hit baseball, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Ryan Weathers, his best start so far as a Yankee in start number 3. He's allowed 5 hits, no runs, has not walked a batter, and struck out 6, also in 6 innings of work.
They both have thrown 73 pitches, too.
Very economical. Max Muncy will lead it off here in the 7th. 1-0. And they both have had to be this good because both offenses have been shut down. Driven out into right center field. On the run is Bellinger on the track at the wall. It's off the wall and caroms out into center field. Muncy is going for 3, and Judge gets the ball in. So a leadoff triple for Max Muncy.
Yeah, this is a 2-0 fastball. It's actually a pretty good pitch. It's down in the zone, middle away. And you're going to see Muncy drive this to right center. And Cody's got a pretty good beat on it. He just runs out of room and hits off the top of the wall. Judge does what he's supposed to. Back up. It kicks back towards center field, and he is there to pick it up and throw it in, but not before Muncy gets to third base.
Yankees bring the infield in for Soderstrom. Line drive, it's a foul ball.
Wow, was that close, Michael?
Mark Wegner right there, the first base ump. Soderstrom's looking into the dugout, see if they're going to challenge.
Ryan Christensen, the first base coach, thought it might have been fair. And
not challenging.
It's hard from that angle for us to see how close it is, but it's really close.
Fernando Cruz. Line drive, that one's fair, a base hit to right field. Muncy scores. It's an RBI single for Soderstrom, and we finally have a run on the board. The A's lead 1-0.
Yeah, he's been a productive hitter throughout his career, his 8th RBI, and he throws this sinker, and he's trying to get it in like he did the last one. Not successful enough. He jams him a little bit, but he hits this line drive to Aaron Judge, and it puts the A's up 1-0.
So Blackburn alongside Cruz. And here comes Matt Blake to talk with Weathers and give the bullpen a little bit more time to warm. Check out the bullpen budget brought to you by Citizens. Make sense of your money with Citizens. Bednar probably not available today. Same thing with Hedrick. Doval threw 12 pitches yesterday. Hill 17. So you don't have your closer, and you don't have one of the lefty pitchers, I would say, in Hedrick.
And I think Fernando Cruz was up if they needed a strikeout. Now the situation has changed with the Yankees losing 1-0 and a runner on first.
Here's Austin Wynns. 1-7-1 for the A's. Zeros across for the Yankees. And a bunt. McMahon will make the play and throw to first. Out number one as Soderstrom moves into scoring position.
Yeah, really good communication by Ryan McMahon, as you can hear him yelling to Weathers, I got it, I got it, I got it. And the pitchers start to go after it until he hears himself called off. McMahon makes the good throw to first. Now there's a runner in scoring position again with less than 2 outs. And you got to face Hernandez, who has a soft single to right. I would think you'd see Aaron Judge come in a little bit again.
Runner at second. 1-0 A's. Pitch to Hernandez is low, 1-0. One. One and two.
Yankees 8-3, all 3 losses by 1 run. 3-2, 7-6.
Right field. Judge. Out number 2. Soderstrom stays put at second.
I would think with the struggles that Denzel Clark has had at the plate, the strikeouts that he's had about half the time, that McMahon has to be somewhat aware of the bunt, even though there's 2 outs and a runner in scoring position.
And a strike. Backdoor breaking ball.
Looks like he was giving it to him the first pitch he was in, the first strike. Now he backed up a little bit.
Popped up. Rice in foul territory. Rice makes the play, and that'll do it. But the A's take the lead. 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 man left on base. At the end of 6.5 innings of play, it's the Athletics 1, the Yankees nothing. But we'll stay right here as we honor America in the Bronx.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you rise and remove your caps? And please direct your attention to the area behind home plate as the New York Yankees welcome an honored military guest. United States Army Private First Class Phil Thao from the Bronx, who served in the Korean War. The Yankees say thank you, Phil, for your sacrifice and for your service to our nation. And now, please join us in singing along with Robert Merrill's rendition of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean.
Well, thank you, guys. 1-7-1, leading zeros across. Both pitchers have pitched well. Max Muncy, a triple run scored. Yankees have had just 2 base runners today, a walk and reaching on an E5. That's it. There being no hit through 6. Here's Bellinger. And a strike.
I'm about to say it, too. You know he's got a no-hitter?
I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah.
One and one. So the 4 hits they had yesterday, the Yankees, that was a season low.
Springs just hurt himself.
Now Springs looks like something's up. They're heading out to the mound to check him out.
You know, I noticed that Austin Wynns kind of hesitated when he went to throw the ball back, so he obviously saw something. Maybe it was the way he landed. He's kind of pointing at the dirt. Oh.
Well, sent everybody away. Yeah, he definitely looked down at the mound. He does not want to come out of this game.
He's only thrown 74 pitches, 103 his last start.
One and 2. It's a strike, and it's going to be challenged by
batter's
Bellinger. ABS powered by T-Mobile. And it's a strike.
The call's
and Bellinger
confirmed.
shaking his head.
New York is out of challenges.
So the Yankees are out of challenges, and the A's have 1. And the count 1 and 2. A big swing pitch there. Clark in left center. Check out the Optimum Fiber famously fast replay, and he hasn't been that fast, but he works quickly.
Yeah, he does, and he throws a lot of strikes, and he moves his fastball all around, and his changeup has been the equalizer against these right-handed hitters, as you'll see a lot of takes and a lot of swing through on that changeup.
So here's Stanton. Fly ball to left and the ground ball to third by Giancarlo. He's 1 for 10 in this series against the A's. And a strike.
You haven't seen a lot of balls in the middle of the plate, thigh high to waist high. You just haven't seen it.
Boy, there are definitely different ways to pitch. So his 4-seam fastball, 90-91. That's change-ups for some guys.
But I think he hides the ball pretty well, Michael, because he doesn't open his shoulders up until the last minute. The ball's hidden behind him. It almost looks like he's thrown it to the left-hander's batter's box.
And that's being challenged by Wynns.
The pitcher's called the ball. The catcher's challenging.
ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile. And that is indeed a ball. You can see Wynns and
call's
so now
confirmed.
challenges
The
are out the
Athletics
window
are
for
out of
both
challenges.
teams. So 3 and 2 on Stanton. And there's ball 4. Help America's Heroes. Donate $11 a month and amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to t2t.org. Yankees first base runner since the 3rd inning. 3rd base runner overall, 2 walks and reaching on an E5. So here's Ben Rice, 0 for 2 in this game, 1 for 8 in the series. Ground ball, base hit. The first base hit for the Yankees. Stanton's going to stop at second. So the Yankees first and second with one man out here in the 7th.
Yeah, finally broke up. Michael, we just needed to talk about it a little bit. 6 1/3 innings of no-hit ball. He's thrown outstanding, but base hit for Ben Rice here between first and second. Kurtz was holding Stanton on. Sometimes they'll play behind and to get a visit from the pitching coach, but I would think that Goldschmidt would be getting loose here. The Yankees are going to pinch run Jazz Chisholm for Stanton. For Wells' spot, I would think Goldschmidt would have a possibility of hitting in that spot.
So finally, some life from the Yankees. Well, fans go to @Yes Network on X and vote for the Montefiore Einstein Player of the Week. Is it number 1, Aaron Judge, number 2, Ben Rice, number 3, Ahmed Rosario. Tim Hill getting ready for the Yanks. Randall Grichuk is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts today. Chisholm pinch running for Stanton. He's at second. Rice is at first. Beautiful changeup, way out in front, 0-1.
Jazz get pretty big lead out there, pretty big secondary. Alvarado, the hard thrower, is up. I'm sure that's for Goldschmidt if he pinch hits here in some situation.
Same pitch, same result, 0-2. One and 2. One-two on the Yankee left fielder, number 6 batter in the order. A little bit distracted by Jazz. Spring steps off. Swing and a miss. Got him on 3 changeups. So Grichuk has struck out 3 times against Springs.
Yeah, his changeup has been devastating today. A ton of swing and misses. You see the downward movement. You see the fade away from Grichuk.
So the Yankees had a choice to make with this at bat. Go to Goldschmidt, and then Kotze probably goes to Alvarado. And they're saying they'd rather have Springs against Wells than Alvarado against Goldschmidt. Wells is 0 for 2 against the A's left-hander. 1-0. Wells has gotten off to a slow start offensively. He's 0 for 2 today, 5 for 29. He's yet to drive in a run. Two and 0. Caballero's on deck. Runners go. The throw to second. Not in time. Double steal. Chisholm goes to third. Rice goes to second.
Smart play by Wins, and usually you call that out before it even happens if you're going to throw to third or you're going to throw behind. He went after the runner that's not quite as speedy and has to make sure the guy at second goes before he takes off, and almost got him, Michael. The one mistake they made is you can't have both guys covering. Only one guy needs to cover because you know where you're going with the ball.
Well, the pitch was called a strike, so a 2-1 count now on Austin Wells. Did he go? Yep. 2-2.
Yeah, really good slider here, just off the plate.
High fly ball, left center. And Soderstrom puts it away for the final out. Yankees finally get a hit, but they strand 2. Hey, Yankee brought to you by Prevagen, made for your brain. 276, 1,171 hits, 100 home runs. Played for the Yankees in 01. 2 separate stints with the A's, 2 separate stints with the Yankees, with them from 87 to 95. Oh, yeah, I think I got it.
Did I actually get it?
You got it too, yep.
Wow. I got a 5?
Squibb, first base side, Weathers gets Wilson. I'll give everybody a clue on the name that Yankee. This guy owned Randy Johnson.
I would not have known that. Oh, look what happened to the ball. Someone's got a cup bat. You know, the cup where they drill out the end of the bat? Slides the weight down more. It's lucky he was able to throw it straight to the first baseman.
A lot of people thought that's what Mike Scott did to the ball.
Yeah. I don't think it was quite that big.
Nick Kurtz 2 for 3 against Weathers. Weathers has pitched quite well, but Yankees have done nothing offensively against Springs. We're in the 8th inning. It's 1-0 Athletics. They scored their run in the 7th. RBI single by Soderstrom.
Reminds me of a story of Sean Dunston, right here from New York, first-round pick by the Cubs. They told Sean from the bench, they yelled and check the ball from Nolan Ryan. And Sean Dunston told him, do not check that ball. Do not check that ball.
Second longest outing of Weathers' career, the longest 8 innings for the Marlins. And Weathers is in at least through Butler. So if he can get Kurtz, it'll be 8 innings. And this is a significant outing for the Yankees and the A's because both teams, their bullpen has been used a lot. And there are people that just aren't available. So if either of these starters gave short outings, they would have really had to get creative. Did he go? Yes, he did. Kurtz down on strikes. So a couple of singles, couple of strikeouts of Kurtz.
Yeah, 3-2 sweeper. He threw it 3-1. He came back with it 3-2. Gets the strikeout. See how Kurtz stays in really well against left-handers. This ball is just too far off the plate. It's got great plate coverage.
There's Butler. One and one. He did not go, according to Carlos Torres.
Butler kind of told Carlos Torres he didn't go.
And he listened.
So watch what he does here, Michael. And I don't think he went.
2-2. Fouled off. Once again, the Yankees have not won a series at Yankee Stadium since April of 2016. The A's, I'm sorry.
Pitch 100 for Weathers. Has there been a Yankee pitcher that's got to 100 yet this
I think Max
Fried?
Fried.
Like 103?
Yes. Ground ball, second base. Rosario and Weathers with a 1-2-3 eighth inning. He has pitched beautifully. Hyundai scoreboard 1-0 Athletics. The Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. And by Delta, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Delta, keep climbing. Quite a performance by Ryan Weathers. 8 innings. He's lost just 1 run, but the offense has not done its part. Justin Sterner comes on. Jeffrey Springs, 7 brilliant innings. And the Yankees counter with Trent Grisham off the bench. The pinch hit for Jose Caballero. There's a strike. Quickly 0-2. Sterner scoreless innings in the 6th and the 7th on Tuesday against the Yanks. Strike 3. Grisham down looking. Well, tomorrow on Yes, the Yankees kick off a weekend set with the Rays in St. Pete. Tune in beginning at 5 for extended coverage, starting with the new shows Yankees Rewind and Yankees Lineup presented by CarShield. Then it's Audi batting practice and the FanDuel pregame leading up to first pitch at 7:05 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Here's Ryan McMahon. Waves through that pitch. 0-1.
Hitters hit 089 off that pitch last year, and it wasn't like he didn't have a lot of innings. He had 65 innings last year, pitched to a 3.18 ERA. His four-seamer and sweeper are his bread and butter.
And there's the four-seamer so quickly. McMahon down 0-2. He's 0 for 2 today with a fly ball to center, and he struck out looking. They play him to pull. Ibanez well off the line, halfway between second and third. And Wilson shades up the middle. Ground ball to second. Two away. Well, tomorrow we are going to see Luis Heel and a start against the Rays. And what are the Yankees seeing so far from him down at AAA, Meredith?
Well, Michael, he actually stayed down in Tampa, and then when the minor league season started, he went with the Rail Riders. He pitched Sunday in Rochester, 4 2/3, as you saw. Aaron Boone actually had the opportunity to watch that entire game because it was during the rain delay, and he said overall he liked what he saw from Heel. There were some control issues with the 4 walks. He said part of that could have been the fact that weather was pretty rough. The conditions were rough in Rochester throughout that one. But if Luis Heel can return close to form that we saw in 2024, certainly could be a huge boost for a rotation that has started the year off incredibly well.
I saw that form his last start in spring training. It was the best fastball he's had in a year and a half. His breaking ball and changeup were better. There was 98s in there. 90. He was letting it go, and I think he found what he was looking for with his mechanics, with his fastball, and it was a different guy. The guy you saw in the first half of 24.
2-2 on Rosario. Rosario is 0 for 2 with a walk today. Aaron Judge is on deck. He's 0 for 3. A lot of 0-fers in the Yankee lineup. They have just 1 hit. Ben Rice's single. And that came with 1 out in the 7th. Since the first inning in last night's game, the Yankees have managed 2 hits. Three and 2. Hogan Harris, we saw him yesterday getting ready.
You know, baseball's a funny game, Michael, how hitting comes and goes. And sometimes it's just the pitchers you face. They were pretty good that day, and I would say with Springs, I mean, this isn't the first team that he shut down. He shut down Toronto. He shut down Houston. He was really good today. But their pitching has been really consistent. If you have consistent pitching, you're going to win a lot of games.
So Rosario works a walk, and that gives Judge an opportunity with the tying run on first.
This is the opportunity they've probably been looking for all day, just to give them a chance. You got the right guy up.
So Scott Emerson, the pitching coach, talks things over with Sterner and company. Judge, as did everyone, didn't do much against Springs. Grounded to the mound, struck out looking, and grounded to third. He's 1 for 2 against Sterner, the 1 a home run. Yankees looking for that jolt. Ibanez fairly deep at third, about 5 feet off the line. Rosario leads off first, held there by Kurtz. That one just clipped the outside corner, 1-1. Trying to give the Yankees the lead there, and swings through the fastball.
Yeah, this is a good fastball up and away. A tough pitch for a right-hander. They do light the ball up, but when it starts to get away, it becomes a problem because your barrel falls underneath it.
2-2 on Judge. Bellinger on deck. Now after Judge, the Yankees have 3 lefties in a row: Bellinger, Chisholm, and Rice.
But that 3-2 count becomes significant because any double should score him unless it's a ground rule double, because Rosario should be moving on the pitch.
Now straight back. Rosario will go again. Payoff. Up the middle, soft ground ball. Fielded there by Hernandez, and he gets Judge for the final out. No runs, and the Yankee strand 1. It's time to find the answer to name that Yankee. So from 87 to 95, he was a Yankee, came back in 01. Randy Velarde.
RV.
Take a look.
Phelps. He goes with one.
Walt Weiss dived in for that.
Nice. Playing the outfield. Played in the infield.
Oh, that was loud, Michael.
And we even show his dominance of Randy Johnson. Down from the White Sox, January of '87, hit .278 for the Yanks. In 1995, their run to the wild card, 261 overall in 10 seasons. And he had 408 against Randy Johnson.
Who does that besides him? That has to be the highest. How many at-bats was that? 54, 54.
49.
James and I got to work on our hand signals a little bit.
Well, the Yankees lose their DH as Chisholm takes over at second base. Paul Blackburn on the mound. And Jeff McNeil pinch hitting for Ibanez. Ground ball, fielded there by Rice, flips to Blackburn, and they finally retire Jeff McNeil.
4 for 7 coming into today.
So Rosario takes over at third. McMahon, who debuted at shortstop for the Yankees yesterday, he'll move over there. Bellinger goes from center to left, and Grisham in center. So the pitcher is hitting in Grichuk's spot, the 6th spot in the order. Today's injury report brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of New York Yankees. Anthony Volpe expected to travel home with the Yankees after they finish their series with the Rays in St. Pete and could begin a rehab assignment next week. Now Blackburn pitching here in the 9th. Weathers went 8, and you have to be pretty impressed with the way Weathers pitched, Joe.
Really impressive. Really, really impressive. Controlled the strike zone. No walks today, which has been a problem for him. Was ahead in the count all day. Seven strikeouts, 103 pitches, 101 pitches, excuse me.
And really the one mistake he made was giving up the triple to Muncy to open up the 7th, and then Soderstrom with a single drove him in. That's the only damage on the board for either team. 1 run, 7 hits for the Athletics. No runs, 1 hit for the Yankees. If you're looking ahead for the Yankees in the 9th inning, it'll be Bellinger, Chisholm, and Rice. The 1-2.
That
2-2.
That would have been a head tap. Had they had any left, I believe.
Three and 2 on Muncy. Line drive. It is a base hit down the left field line. Bellinger plays it in the corner, and Muncy has a double to go along with his triple.
I think you got to be really careful with Soderstrom here with a couple righties coming up in Wins and Hernandez, and this is a sinker that just gets way too much of the plate. It's up in the zone, which allows you to hit it in the air as a hitter. If it's down, it's probably a ground ball to third base. Because he got it up in the zone, he was able to hit it down the left field line.
And Soderstrom takes a strike. 1-1. Muncy leads off second. 2-1. Yankees want to hold it right here. They've had a lot of trouble scoring, so want to leave it at 1-0 as they go to the bottom of the ninth.
I like what Blackburn has done here. He's only thrown him chase pitches. If you're going to get to swing the bat, you're going to have to get yourself out on a ball.
Chopped over the middle. McMahon for out number 2. Muncy moves to third. 2 nights, 1 wild show. Banana Ball is coming to New York City. Yankee Stadium will host the Savannah Bananas on Saturday, April 25th and Sunday, April 26th. Limited ticket inventory and premium seat locations on sale now. Visit Yankees.com/bananas to secure your seats today.
You know who should be involved in that game in my mind?
Who's that?
Mickey Rivers.
Okay.
That would be entertaining. He doesn't necessarily need to play, but to coach first base.
He plays in the old timers games.
Yeah.
Here's Austin Wins. Foul back. Runner at third, 2 outs. It's a 1-0 A's lead. The rubber game of this 3-game set. All 3 Yankee losses, as Joe mentioned earlier this year, have come by 1 run. Swings through that one, 1-2. Blackburn sets and deals. Foul back to the screen. 1-2 again.
Wins was actually a reverse split guy last year. 313 against right-handers, 250 versus left-handers. 5 of his 6 home runs came off of right-handers.
Swing and a miss. Wins down on strikes. Muncy stranded at third. Can the Yankees rally in the bottom of the ninth? It'll start with Bellinger, then Chisholm, and it'll finish up with Ben Rice. Stay tuned. Become a Yankees Universe Fan Club member today. All Yankees Universe members receive a membership card, 2 tickets to a 2026 Yankees home game, and access to a members-only website. A portion of all proceeds donated to Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, benefiting pediatric cancer research. Join Yankees Universe today by visiting Yankees.com/universe. So Hogan Harris, their lone left-hander, will come on to face the 3 Yankee lefties.
10 walks in 8 innings. Walked the first 2 hitters he saw last night. Walked Grisham and Judge. Ended up getting out of the inning. Came in with 2 outs and then struck out Bellinger.
Hernandez, who was playing second, replaced by McNeil, and Hernandez moves to third. So Bellinger 0 for 3 against Jeffrey Springs, count 1-1, and he calls time. Bellinger 2 for 11 in this series. 1-2. Two and 2 on Bellinger. 1-0 A's. Bottom of the ninth inning here. A beautiful afternoon in the Bronx. Fouled away.
Boy, he's so good at fighting pitches off, Michael. Just getting the bat to the ball and waiting for Hogan Harris to make a mistake. He can put a good swing on one.
Took the curveball off the plate, and the count is full at 3-2.
Glad there aren't a whole lot of challenges left. It is off the plate, though.
Oh, that was a spoiled pitch right there. He just stays alive.
You say that's a slap shot?
Kinda, right? Just staying alive. And the 3-2. Popped him up. Wins. Makes the play for the first out. And I was going to bring up Jazz Chisholm. He pinch ran for Stanton in the 7th inning after Stanton walked. So he was the DH, and now he's been moved into the field, so the Yankees lose the DH. If anybody gets on, the Yankees will have to pinch hit for Blackburn. He's in the 6th spot. Jumps on the first pitch and lofts it to center field. Clark is there to make the play. Yankees down to their final out. And after the final out, get highlights, analysis, clubhouse interviews, and we'll hear from the manager, plus a look ahead to the series with the Rays. That's all coming up on the WB Mason Yankees postgame. So this leaves it to Ben Rice. He has the only Yankees hit today. And there's a strike.
And you have Goldschmidt on deck for Blackburn in the pitcher spot, but they have a right-hander up in the bullpen.
The only way that you were sure of getting Goldschmidt in a bat against a lefty was to pinch hit him here. Because it would be the 3rd batter he had to face. 0-2. 1-2. Goldschmidt and Escara. That's what's left on the bench for the Yanks. 1-2.
Good job of Ben Rice just fouling that pitch off. Had it been a breaking ball, I think he would have been almost perfect timing.
Did he go? Yes, he did. Rice down on strikes, and the Yankees get shut out 1-0. They're held to 1 hit. Their offense just anemic on this Thursday afternoon, and they lose 2 out of 3 to the Athletics.
You know, Michael, sometimes you look at the glass half empty, sometimes you look at it half full. I look at it half full because they continue to pitch at an elite level. This offense is going to turn around. This happens to every offense in baseball. Just struggling a little bit right now. They go to Tampa, see what happens when they get down there, but they'll get going.
So since the first inning yesterday, the Yankees have managed 2 hits, 1 today. So they lose this one 1-0.